This video is brought to you by Ageless Geeks.
Cowabunga dudes and dudettes, this is Anthony, aka Batbomb82, and today I'll be doing a review of the Medicom Mafex Hush Batman Black version. Now, taking a look at the front, we can see that the figure is showcased in your standard Mafex window box packaging. Turning the box around, we can see some really cool images and panels showcasing the figure in multiple posing positions with his different interchangeable parts and accessories. So with the box out of the way, let's crack this figure open and let him breathe. Alright guys, now let's take a closer look at this Mafex Batman. Now this is really cool, man. Now I've always been, well I wouldn't say always, but for years I've been on this kind of anti-bandwagon of like anti-Mafex figures, because you know, a lot of QC issues over the years. They lost me as a customer years ago, but everything they've been doing with these more like comic accurate figures have been really kind of sucking me back in. The QC isn't perfect, but it's not as bad as it used to be. So they are kind of winning me over, especially with these Batman figures, man. And I love the Hush comic. It is one of my favorite books that I read back in the day. I still have all the individual issues. Love this storyline. Jim Lee's one of my favorite artists, so it's really cool seeing good figures that are fairly accurate to his art style, especially in the head sculpt. The head sculpt looks just like Jim Lee's art, with the brow, that square jaw, the short ears. All of that looks great. I love that the logo on the chest right here is actually sculpted, not just like tampoed on. But everything else is pretty simple. I do love there's a little bit of a airbrushing in the musculature to show it off a little bit more, but everything else is pretty simple with the boots. And that I love the cape here. It's a nice big billowy cape, which is insane. Some people say a little too big. I could totally agree with that. It's probably a little too big. It's a little bit much, but there's a bendy wire in it too, and you can pose it around and do all kinds of things, especially when you want to pose them on your shelf, just looking badass, you know what I mean? So that helps a lot. But I can totally see why people would like that cape is ridiculous. It's kind of a deal breaker. Totally understand. Doesn't deal break it for me, but I get it. I totally understand. So what I'm gonna do, since I do have that first version of the blue one right here, I want to show off the differences here, because originally when I first saw both these versions, I was like, okay, it's just gonna have the simple black instead of the blue. But of course, that's the main thing, as you can probably tell. But the grays, even in the suit, are different. They're a lot lighter on the blue here. If you can see next to the blue version, the black version has a lighter gray than the blue version, like that. So you can see that. The belts are actually different colors of yellow. This one's a little more of a brighter yellow. This one has almost an orangish tone to it. But you can see, especially in the legs, how the different colors are. There's a little bit of more of a dry or airbrushing on this bluer version than it is in the black version, like so. So the colors overall are different. So I thought it was just going to be a simple swap of the blue and the black, but they are actually different colors entirely. Now I'm trying to remember if he ever wore black in the comic. I can't remember. I'm almost positive he wore the blue suit the whole time. Me personally, I prefer the black and gray suit. Like, this is my perfect Batman, black gray suit with a big black bat instead of the yellow oval. No offense, I'm not a big fan of the yellow oval. This is just my perfect look for him. So again, I don't remember if he ever wore this particular suit in the Hush comics, maybe in some of the variant covers, or maybe some variant art, something like that. So maybe that's what it's from. So feel free to let me know in the comments if that's what it is. But still, I actually think he looks really cool. I'm actually super happy to have this, surprisingly. Okay, so let's talk accessories now. If you have the blue Batman, you basically know what you're gonna get. You're getting the exact same thing here. So we got like open palm hands, we got closed fisted hands, we got hands with the different little batarangs between the fingers, which are really nice. And then we got hands that has his little grapple gun attached like that. You actually get one for the right and the left, so you get one for each side, and he's switch hitters, you know what I mean? So you could use either or. I think that's really cool. We actually do get different styles of battering. So you got this one right here. In fact, my fat fingers can get out of the way so you can actually see it. You got that one right here. And then you got this style right here, like that. So you get 2 of each style, which is really nice. So I love that. We also do get a more angry head, which I think is really cool. This looks pretty decent. Let me see, get a nice zoom in like there. Mine looks like it has a little bit of a gap in the teeth right there. So that might need to be touched up. But still, I think it looks really good. I love the way that looks. What I also do like with the grapple guns here, you actually do get this grapple hook like this. If I can zoom back out here, nice bright silver with this nice wire attached to it. It's not a bendy wire, I don't think. Maybe, no, it feels pretty solid. So you put that in the hand and have it look like he's shooting out the grapple hook like so, which I think is really nice. That's a very fancy look, so I love that. We also do get the Mafex articulated arm right here with the C-clamp like so. What's really special about this, and this is what sold me on this, we get that little eagle gargoyle base like that. So I think this is really cool. This is a great addition to it. The nice wash on there, the texture, all looks really good. You see the cracking in the concrete, all looking awesome. And this is based on that more iconic pose or poster where you see him posing on top of the gargoyle with his cape swinging, flailing in the wind. I think that's so dope. So I had to have this looking killer. This is definitely how I'm going to pose him, just like that poster. That's exactly how he's going on my shelf. So I love this. And that's pretty much all we get. Again, it's the same things that we've seen with the blue version. So if you have that blue version, you're getting the exact same things with the difference of that actual gargoyle base. Everything else is exactly the same. All right, now let's check out the articulation here. So the head and the neck are on ball joints. You got a nice, lots of good motion there. Rotates left and right, up about that far. I wish I could look up a little more, down that much, so that's pretty good. And pivot side to side like so. Arms can go all the way up and full 360 if you want, up and out that far. We do get a butterfly joint in there, so that rolls around very nicely. Rotation at the bicep, double jointed elbows, rotation at the wrist, as well as a hinge at the wrist. We got a double ball peg in the midsection, so that rolls around very, very nicely. That feels really solid, yet very fluid, so I appreciate that. Pivot side to side, crunches back and forth a lot, so lots of good motion in there. Like so, feels a little, there we go. So adjust that, turn left and right, all that good stuff. Hip joints that kick up and out that far, back about that much, splits all the way out. It does have that little joint where you can actually pull it down a little bit so it can kick up and out more, so that's pretty good, so I love that. And also rotates on that ball peg there. Double jointed knees, can't kick himself in his own butt, but I love how the calf right here folds into the back of the leg, so I love the way that looks. Very natural bend, so I think that's really cool. Ankles go up, down, very good ankle rocker and toe articulation. So overall, I think this is a really cool figure. Again, I have been not the biggest fan of Mafex, and quite honestly, I've talked a lot of smack about them over the years because they just really let, not me down, but a lot of us down who were collecting their product. Again, their QC was horrible over the years. It does feel like they're getting better, so I'm going to try my best not to bash them as much as I used to, because I've really been loving these comic book accurate character figures that they're giving us. Again, especially with Batman, I'm all about it. I think this is a great figure and definitely a must get. So for a quick size comparison, here he is standing next to a Marvel Legends Deadpool and McFarlane Batman figure. Also for comparison, here he is standing next to the Mafex Blue Hush Batman and Dark Knight Returns Batman. And just for fun, here he is with little Lego Bat Bomb. So there it is, guys, my review of the black version of Hush Batman. Now overall, I think this is a pretty cool figure. I think probably my biggest complaint is that I wish he was kind of a little more bulkier. A comparison to the Jim Lee's art, this figure seems a little thin, but it's not terrible, honestly. I really do love the sculpt overall. The head sculpts especially look just like Jim Lee's art, which I absolutely love. The airbrushing around the muscles looks really good, really makes that detail pop out. I love the different accessories, like the different batarangs and the grappling guns and the grappling hooks, all work great. Now, I know a lot of people had issues with the giant cape from the previous version, and to me, it doesn't really bother me all that much. I actually really like it. I think I even like it even more with the black cape. But man, the addition of that gargoyle eagle base is so awesome. That is a very iconic look, and we finally get to use that for this figure. I think it's great. I think it looked awesome. Now again, I've had issues with Mafex before in the past, but they are slowly winning me back, which I think that's actually saying a lot for all of us. A lot of us have felt that same way. I think this is a really badass figure, great articulation, a lot of good things here, and again, they're winning me over again, and that's something I really appreciate. I'm all in with a lot of their Batman figures, and I think he's totally rad and definitely a must get. So please comment, like, and subscribe. Stay nerdy, my friends. Peace.